So last year I picked up these toys from the McDonald's Happy Meals for the Minecraft movie. I grew up in a period where kids' meals came with electronics, and so this one is a watch from 2006 from Burger King. And so the nostalgia made me want a little bit more out of these. Starting with the skeleton, I power it on by jumping these two pads. And once it's powered on, just give it a little tap on the head. And just like with the game, if you hit it 20 times, let me go ahead and show you guys what's in the skeleton. Here on the left is a battery pack, I think around 100 milliamp hour. Right on my thumb is a speaker. And on the right side is the mini DF player. All the way in the back there's two copper foil traces, and when I press down they create contact, which sends a signal to the MP3 player. So the MP3 player will play the next file once it receives that signal. It's just connecting it straight to ground. If you want to learn more about the MP3 player, I have a video about the note block and jukebox. I did update the note block jukebox in order to work with the modular system, in order to create a smart note block or jukebox that plays different on which block it's on. And for the B, I have a hidden switch in here. Turning it on brings it to life. Unfortunately, there's no way to easily access the inside of the bee, unlike the skeleton, which can unscrew and open up on the inside. So in order to get the magnets aligned properly without them falling off, I did end up melting in. But because of that, we are able to just set it on top and let the motor go. The construction is really simple. I'm just using one of these small motors that are geared down, and just going through the 3D printed model. And on the gear is pressure fit a plate with some magnets also pressure fit inside. It's being powered by a 330 milliamp hour LiPo that gets connected in between a motor and the switch. It's possible to slow down, but it does cost a lot more current being drawn, just because it takes a lot of power in order to disengage the magnets. And that's pretty much it for the Bumblebee. Pretty simple, but it did take a while in order to figure out how to align the magnets. Here's the creeper, and how it works is you press down, and it will play the file. Lift your hand off, and it will stop the file. I was having a little bit of trouble with the creeper, just because sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't work. And that's because of how it's set up. What we have inside is a really simple collection, just like the skeleton. On the left we have the MP3 player and the speaker, and on the right we have a battery pack. Underneath the battery pack is a switch, and the switch is where the issue is. Sometimes it will activate, sometimes it won't catch. The trace on the left passes the trace on the right just for a split second, and if you release it passes over it again. One of the MP3 pins is connected to ground once those two traces make contact. The creeper is able to be disassembled completely. And so here's the inside. As you push down, it moves the lever down to the legs. Originally I was going to put the traces down here, but the clearances didn't seem to be too easy to get. In order to get this really small section, I used the leads off of a resistor. I first melted it into the plastic and then sanded it to be flush. After that I used copper foil tape in order to solder on a new connection, which then gets soldered onto ground. On the other side it's also a lead from a resistor. This time I poked it through plastic. Here you can see where it makes contact, that then gets connected to the MP3 player. Here's the evoker, the first one I pulled and probably the easiest to make. On the left is the battery pack, on the right is the ultrasonic circuit, and on top is the ultrasonic mister itself. In order to get a signal, I replace the button with these two pads that when get pressed down, connect onto this pad and gets closed. The piezoelectric element is just a speaker that produces ultrasonic frequencies. In order to drive the element, the circuit provides a signal that has a high frequency, turning it on and off. And everything is being powered by the battery. It does expect a voltage of around 4.5 volts, but I'm using a battery pack that's around 3.6 volts, and it seems to be functioning okay. The circuit specifically has two modes: a continuous spray and a repeating of 10 seconds on, 5 seconds off. When the power supplied gets really low, it only goes to the second mode of 10 seconds on, 5 seconds off. The kit also comes with a rod that you can saturate with water or oil, and all you have to do is press it up against the element and it begins misting. Because it's ultrasonic frequency, it bumps the molecules and atomizes the water. It's easier to see the mist if you have a light source. That's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching.